Hello, this is Dr. George Brooks from Next Horizon, and it's been a little while since we've done an aquaponic victory garden update, and so I'm glad to get back to you. Um, if you remember, there we go. If you now, this is going to be just the tip of an iceberg. There's a lot more information to be presented, but I want to keep it as short as possible. I'll be presenting this at a conference sometime in the future to get all the full details, but I think that you will enjoy this update and see what's going on with this idea. Now, first, just a little thought leadership thought that I've had, that the value of a technology lies not in its bells and whistles, but in the great questions it can answer, great problems that it can solve. And if you remember, we have a big problem in front of us right now, and that is America's in a hunger crisis. The pandemic swept in a lot, creating a recession, plus breaking the food chain, which has made a lot of people food insecure. This is my city, the city of Phoenix, and we've known for some time that so we have a lot of food deserts. Now, Phoenix, though not delineated in this graphic, is the area right in the middle, 510 square miles, but the entire area you see is a large part of Maricopa County. You heard a lot about Maricopa County recently. That the major part of our state's population, and it's over 4,000 square miles, and every green area that you see is a food desert. So we're looking at how can we use aquaponics for a purpose, big societal purpose. And again, the more powerful the technology it is, the bigger the problems it can solve. And I believe that aquaponics is a powerful technology that can do this kind of thing. So how do we address food security? Now, since the pandemic, a lot of people are talking about victory gardens. Victory gardens were done during World War II, where 20 million families produced 40% of the total U.S. food output that year, 1945 in World War II, and totaled 8 million tons of food. If you add all of that up, it came out to about 800 pounds per family. Some did a whole lot less, some did a whole lot more, but on average, 800 pounds per family of food per year. Now, let me show you what 800 pounds looks like. I couldn't find a picture of 800 pounds of vegetables that I wanted, but I got some other representatives, such as a buffalo, or an elk, or a bear, or a moose. This is what 800 pounds of food is, or the 800 pounds of animal would be in this case, or food. Imagine growing a moose in your backyard. But now it took back then about 1,700 on the low end and 2,500 square feet on the high end of space to grow that 800 pounds of vegetables. Today, however, we're lucky in our urban spaces, such as what I live, to have 20 by 20. That's 400 square feet. And I looked around and found that's a pretty good metric as to what people can use. Here we have a 400 square foot garden. So you can see what we're talking about. Now, if you can imagine sticking that moose right in the middle of this garden as a representation of the amount of food that you are trying to grow in this amount of space. So my question was, okay, now normally, I looked around and we found that on average, with good gardening practices from raised beds and row gardening, people get on average, between 200 and 270 pounds per season, well, I should say per year, out of a 400 square foot space like that, being reasonable. But as I asked in the video a few months ago, can we grow using a little 21st century magic 800 pounds of food in that 20 by 20 space? And the answer is yes, because of the Aquaponic Victory Garden project that I'll put a link down below to link you to the original video. Now, our goal with this project was to grow in aquaponics in our backyard in a single system, 400 pounds of food. Well, we didn't make it, unfortunately. 118-degree summer stopped growth and killed most of our vines. So all in all, this year, total harvest up until September, though now we have now replanted, but up until September, we got 271 pounds of food, including about 20 pounds of fish over a 200-day period. The pool that we use was a 70 square footprint. This is what it looked like. And again, just 70 square feet of space in there for everything. And the total footprint with working space around it was 108 square feet. Now, within a 400 square foot area, you could fit in 3.7 of these 108 square foot footprint units. Again, the unit itself was 70 square feet, but you got to include the area you have to work around it. And when all that is added up, it comes up to 108 square feet divided into 400 square feet. And that means that 3.7 of these could fit into a 400 square foot garden. Now, naturally, you're not going to have 0.7 units in there, but just for the sake of statistics, let's use these numbers. So 3.7 units times 271 pounds, which is a real harvest from us, comes up to 1,002 pounds and 0.7. That means that in using aquaponics, using this kiddie pool, aquaponic victory garden system that we came up with, you can actually raise 1,002 pounds in a 400 square foot space. That exceeds what they did back in the victory gardens. So yes, it is now possible. You can actually do a victory garden, 800 pounds in a 400 square foot space. Now, if we had made it all the way to 400 pounds, because we're on our way there, if we hadn't had that huge summer, we've grown a whole lot more in that space. So the question that we have now, since we have now demonstrated that if you're going to do a victory garden, you wanted to grow 800 pounds, it is possible to grow 800 pounds in your backyard, in our postage stamp backyards, using aquaponics in a 20 by 20 foot space. It is feasible. The question is now, what is the business model that would make it economically feasible? We can physically do it. We can technically do it. But now, can it be economically feasible for a family to do it? Because the idea of the victory gardens, it's supposed to be growing food for your family, not to take to the farmer's market. Just like Ron Finley said, growing your own food is like printing your own money. In this case, it is like printing your own money. Back in the old victory gardens, they were growing food for their family. And so they were basically selling food to themselves. So the question we have now is, if I had to go to my grocery store and buy 800 pounds of food over a year's time period, the various types of things that I eat that could also be grown in aquaponics, all kinds of vegetables and fruit, et cetera, and the fish. If I was to go buy 800 pounds of it, could I grow it for less money so that every time I went outside to get a salad, every time I went outside to get a pound of fish, the money that I'm saving between going to the store and bringing it home and growing it myself, that's money that I'm saving in. Like Benjamin Franklin said, a penny saved is a penny earned. So Ron Finley, growing your own food is like growing your own money. And then what larger business models can we look at? Because there are going to be farmers who who make that 400 pounds in that one system, who will grow more than 1,000 pounds in that aquaponic system. And so maybe this is more food than family can eat, so they can share it through the community, or perhaps go through a cooperative that is there that can value add to the food and actually buy it from them and then take it out to the larger community in a value added form. There are all kinds of possibilities that we can explore using well-established concepts like a co-op or a food hub. All of these we're going to be looking at in the near future. So if you have any questions on what I said today, please do put them in the link below the video, and we will get back with you at our soonest convenience. And thank you very much, and take care, and we'll talk to you soon.